Well, yeah, I mean, regardless of which side gets affected more, the West or Asia, India, and China, India. I guess my question to you is, what can the startup companies do when the market is in the bottom? How do you advise your companies to ride out times like this? Like you say, it's always cycles. So when when it's in the winter, how do you advise them to hopefully survive when the spring comes?
Yeah. So there have been a lot of very public statements by venture capitalists and others. There was a meeting called by Sequoia, one of the great old brand name venture capital firms. They called a meeting recently at which they called out a bunch of experts to harangue their company CEOs, as well as a lot of other people who were listening, that we are in really tough times and no one knows where the next dollar is coming from, and you better tighten your belts. Stop burning cash, find ways to get profitable, cut back on your most speculative projects and focus on those things that can turn the corner quickly. Really exercise discipline and so on. And I would say that we all, in our business, we all echo those sentiments, and we have communicated to our portfolio companies that message, which is, you had better figure out how you're going to survive if these markets don't come back for 4 years. How are you going to manage your cash so that you don't go under? Because we may not be able to write a check. Nobody may be able to write a check. Now, I think that the caution may have swung too far in the other direction, but we don't know, and we don't know when the cycle will turn, and we don't know how it will turn. Some sectors may come back earlier than others, and so I think overall the messages of caution are very well founded. The interesting thing is that a lot of what we are telling our companies is stuff that probably should be fundamental anyway to running businesses in good times and bad. So it's not really that this is news.
Bad time is the time to shave off fat that you shouldn't have had anyway.
Shouldn't have had it anyway. And that's, to me, that's the fascinating thing. And the most extreme case of that we've seen, of course, in recent history was the dot-com bubble, where people just thought that money was just going to keep flowing forever, and that they could throw it around and waste it on anything that suited their fancy. And so we haven't been in a bubble like that, but there's no question that that a correction like this reminds people of the way they should be thinking all the time about discipline and about being careful with every dollar you spend.
So if you don't get killed in this time, then you'll end up being stronger afterwards. That's what history says. Absolutely. The people that began building businesses during the Depression in the U.S., those are the businesses that became, really the great corporations, the great businesses in all of our histories. I mean, I'm thinking that might be an opportunity for some as well. I mean, I know Warren Buffett has been on a shopping spree, but
that's right.
Even if you are, you and I are not Warren Buffett, but I mean, could people like us, or could companies that are struggling, whatever, I mean, can this be some kind of an opportunity for them as well?
Yes, yes. Well, one of the things that people like us are doing, and many venture firms are doing, is we are recognizing the very fact that you mentioned earlier, which is that there are hundreds of publicly traded companies that have very little cash left, or companies, even if they have significant amounts of cash, there are a lot of companies that are trading at very low valuations. There are companies that are trading at valuations below the cash in their bank accounts.
Right, their pipeline is negative.
So their business is being valued, as a negative. And so a lot of venture capitalists are saying, look, there are all these companies here that are cheaper to invest in than the private venture deals we do. And in some ways, these are venture capital type companies. These are companies doing the same thing that our private venture-backed companies do. They're trying to discover drugs. They're trying to develop drugs. They're trying to bring them through the regulatory process and bring them to market. They just happen to be publicly listed. And right now the market says they're not worth anything. Right? So a lot of us are looking at those companies as well as investment opportunities. So absolutely, for one of those companies, if they can secure an investment, there's no way they can raise money in the public markets. If they can secure an investment from a venture capitalist or from a hedge fund or from somebody who's got money to invest, absolutely, this could be a real opportunity for them to turn the corner and to become a winner.